Good morning and happy Friday, everyone. So I'll just start with my low. I wouldn't quite call it a nightmare, but it was a bad dream. I'll say that. Long story short, I was, okay. I'm sure some of you watching this don't know where the Arnold Mall is. So, in my hometown, there's a mall called the Arnold Mall. And across the street from it, there's a Baskin Robbins, a combination Baskin Robbins, Dunkin' Donuts, there's McDonald's, there's it's where the old Planet Fitness used to be, the old party store used to be. There's also a gas station. Now, I go to this particular gas station, park my car, and, about ready to, pump gas. At first, I get out of my car, and I walk over to the, where the pump to, grab the thing I used to pump gas with. I turn around, and there's two people behind me. And one of them is actually in the passenger seat of my car. Now, I want to make one thing clear. I know who these people are. In fact, they're family. But they're the kind of family that, honestly, I really wouldn't associate with, if that makes sense. I don't really think anything of it. I can't tell them to leave. They're family. You don't do that. So I turn around, press the button for the gas I'm about to do. I do, 87 in gas, so unleaded, whatever. I turn around, the car and both people are gone. And I didn't even hear the car drive away. So, long story short, my nightmare I just said it was a nightmare. My bad dream consisted of my car getting stolen. Yeah. Needless to say, as soon as I woke up this morning, I said, thank God. Although waking up from that dream might have been my high, for being honest. But, no, I can elaborate my high a little further. You got to see my family last night. I had a very important appointment yesterday that was all taken care of. It was good. Honestly, yesterday was a rather good day overall, save for that dream I had. And my act of kindness was I helped someone carry things into the door. I also held the door for some people yesterday. So, that's what I did. And now, without further ado, we have a new Hot Ones episode to talk about now, don't we? Let's do that. So, I'll be honest. Whenever we get a new episode of Hot Ones, I never know what to expect, even if I know who the person is. In this case, I did. I honestly had never even heard of Bad Bunny until this episode. So, I didn't really know much about him. Other than when I did my reaction to who the guest was going to be on Tuesday. How he's based out of Puerto Rico, which, it's a beautiful country. I've never been, but I hear it's a beautiful country. So, right out of the gate, Sean asked him about Baile Inolvidable, which is his favorite song off his new album that's being released. And how Bad Bunny took salsa lessons, the song was on his mind for a long time, and it was one of the most fun experiences he had making music. He talked about Puerto Rican slang versus New York slang, and how like not only do they influence each other, but thanks to the power of like social media and word of mouth, both of them are connected. That was really cool. He talked about how even though he performed at Coachella, he was actually more nervous performing at his middle school talent show with the performance of Mala Gente. So, okay. Sean asked him what goes into making that original Bad Bunny sound. And first of all, I loved when Bad Bunny answered like it's coming directly from him. Like the way he writes, I mean, pretty much any and all music should come from the performer. That's how I feel. I mean, yeah, I know. I mean, you can have songwriters write your songs, and you know, you can sort of have multiple people make like this sound, but the song and the performance really should be like from the vision of the performer, if that makes sense. And in Bad Bunny's case, excuse me, his sound comes from like using old rhythms to create something new. He talked about some of his most iconic fashion statements, like when he went to the Met Gala, the outfit he wore, he couldn't breathe in because he was wearing a corset. If you don't, right, some of you people are probably too young to know what a corset is. Basically, a corset was designed to wrap around a person's stomach, and from behind, like you tighten it. Like you really, basically it's supposed to make someone look thinner in appearance. Really, it was something for that women wore way back then, obviously to look pretty for men. I mean, not to be that guy, but nowadays I don't really care what a person looks like. I mean, obviously corsets even today have their place, especially if like, I don't know, like a Renaissance fair or like some sort of fancy event or something like that. But, I mean, listen, beauty techniques from like 100, 200, even 300 years ago, they were much different than they are right now. I mean, some things still stay the same. I mean, people do wear makeup, of course, and people do style hair, but it's either much less complicated or much more complicated, depending on who you ask. He talked about how the night he won his first Grammy, the outfit he wore was, he wanted it to be different but also very classy. And that outfit was actually one of his favorites. Let's see. He talked about, Sean asked him about doing interviews in the United States. And like, because listen, if you're a performer from whatever country and you're world famous or definitely famous in the United States, you need to do press interviews. You gotta go on, you know, the daytime talk shows, the nighttime talk shows, nowadays even podcasts. So, in terms of interviews, Bad Bunny's gotten better in terms of, not that I've heard him anything bad about him, because again, I hadn't heard about him up until this episode. But, and Bad Bunny will say this himself, he still struggles with English. Which, I mean, makes sense. He's born and raised in Puerto Rico. And Spanish is their first language, in case you don't know. Actually, a fun fact, the capital of Puerto Rico is San Juan. San Juan, Puerto Rico. That is I used to know all the Spanish-speaking countries and their capitals. A couple of them are actually really easy. I mean, literally for some, it's the name of the country and just put city after it. Like Mexico City, Panama City, Guatemala City. Yeah, so those are easy. But there's others like Tegucigalpa, Honduras. I just mentioned San Juan, Puerto Rico, Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, La Habana, Cuba, Buenos Aires, Argentina, Lima, Peru. Those are the ones I can remember off the top of my head. I know Paraguay and Uruguay are Spanish-speaking countries, and I like Chile is on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember that one, but anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. The one thing that Bad Bunny wants to do, and this is in regards to the interview question, is he wants to bring his culture wherever he goes. You know, the Puerto Rican culture. Which, honestly, they should. Again, I mentioned earlier, Puerto Rico, I've never been, but I hear it's a very beautiful country. Maybe someday I'll go. Let me get YouTube famous, and now we can travel to all sorts of other, places. Although if I was able to travel all those places, it'd make for great videos to do. Let's see. They talked about him being a wrestler, and how sometimes he'll go on like the WWE, oh, not the WWE, but not the WWE, but those that kind of wrestling, whatever. And he talked about his most painful time in the ring was getting hit with the candlestick. If you don't know what the candlestick is, long story short, it's essentially like a giant wooden stick that he got hit with. Which, getting hit with a wooden stick isn't exactly, harmless. It can be quite painful under the right circumstances, but if you're hit with it, that'd be the wrong circumstances now, wouldn't it? Yeah. They also talked about how Chambia is a great song to come back to. Keep in mind, I'm probably struggling with a lot. Again, my Spanish isn't exactly as good as it used to be. So I'm probably going to get some words wrong. So it sounded like Sean said Chambia when talking about great songs to come out to. Me personally, I don't really know. I don't think I've ever shared this story, but when I was in college, obviously I got to wrestle for like 1 year. And for the rest of my college career, I did cross country and track. If I could redo my college career all over again, and if I were to do cross country, then wrestling, and then distance running and track, I genuinely would have considered a career in the UFC. I'm serious. I would definitely have the endurance for it. And obviously some, fighting ability via wrestling. In terms of songs, it's so crazy. Like, growing up, I used to think Eminem is still the GOAT, but I must have heard the song Till I Collapse like 1,000 times. I love that song. It's arguably my favorite Eminem song. Although Berserk is also really great. Like, Till I Collapse, Berserk, those are great Eminem songs to come out too. I wish I discovered Dragon Force during that time. Because, man, I tell you what, I can think of some really great Dragon Force songs come out too. And, there's some classics like Kiss, AC/DC, the Rolling Stones. There's some good. If you know where to go, there's some great music. I almost said classic, but classic rock music. That's great to come out to. Lately, the music I've been listening to go out about my day in the morning is a little bit of J-pop and some K-pop. A little bit of a Blackpink. Any Blackpink fans out there? No? Okay. If you're probably wondering, I'm kind of trying to stall this thing from going any further because Bad Bunny quit after Da Bomb. He's on the almost made it. But if nothing else, Sean's last question was, what what kind of legacy does Bad Bunny want to leave? And with Bad Bunny, he was never looking to get famous. He was never looking to, I mean, it's nice, but like he wants the world to know who he is. How just some random kid from Puerto Rico, was able to accomplish so much in his lifetime. He still has a long life to live, to go. So, I guess, in a way, I believe he wants his legacy to be nothing short of, I went out there, I worked hard, I came, I saw, I conquered. Pure and simple. And you know what? That's actually kind of the legacy I want to leave myself. I mean, listen, I know there's like a very slim chance I'm ever going to get famous doing this. But if nothing else, no one's going to say I couldn't have done, 2,581 videos as of today. I'm sorry, I need to look up. Sometimes I forget in the moment how many days I've done in a row. Hold on. Yeah, 2581. Cool. So yeah, I made it to, I made it this far, and, I'm going to continue to do it for a very long time, and yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, it is kind of a bummer that Bad Bunny didn't finish The Wings of Death, especially considering it's the season premiere. But you know what? Obviously not everyone makes it. I mean, Taraji P. Henson didn't do it. DJ Khaled only quit after 3 wings. Lil Yachty's first time he didn't do it. Chance the Rapper didn't do it. E40 didn't do it. Jim Gaffigan didn't do it, I believe. So, Ricky Gervais. So, it's not for everybody. Of course, it is episodes like this that make me think, you know what? If I'm never on Hot Ones, come hell or high water, I'm gonna finish those wings. And maybe someday I will be on Hot Ones. We don't know. I hope you like this video. If you like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I'm very home in this video for all of you guys watching. Enjoy for name. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Friday. And remember, if you guys want to talk, channel always be here to let me know once you're back. Take care. Make good choices. 607 all day, baby.